Guys, colleagues, thank you very much for tuning in. We're here to actually share our enthusiasm, our experience, our learnings, and our next steps around the use of smart video technology. So we're going to go and take it to the first step, which is how do you start with this? How do you set it up? How do you discuss objectives? And when you have the technology, the first thing you need is a sponsor. In this case, we had a sponsorship from the marketing department. The department, in this case, that is taking care of the development, the value management of the customer base. So let's hear it from our sponsor. So we're going to listen to Celine from the marketing department and what her views and what her objectives were with this project. Celine.
Within the customer base marketing team, we have the difficult task to find relevant messages for different audiences. They're really segmented, and we always want to try to find the best fits and the most relevant message for them. However, some audiences are difficult to attain, and so the smart video is actually a really good format to capture their attention. For example, we had three main target audiences. The first one was people on old products. Therefore, they're not having the best Telenet experience because Telenet has better products for them, but it's quite difficult to explain this. And that's where the video is really handy because you can explain in a visual way why this move is better for them. Then we have also the upsell message. There are customers that are not on the best product anymore because they're using too much of their volume. And then the third one is downgraders, as we call them. They actually are not using their current product in the best way. For example, the included features, they're not using them yet or not enough. And that's why they don't see the value of their product. And it's possible that they would go to another, lesser product. And we want to prevent this and explain why the product that they are having now is good for them and what they can do with it. So we really give tips and tricks for this segment specifically. So for our team, it's really important to bring personal and really relevant messages for different target audiences. And the video format actually allows us to do this.
So once you get a sponsor, you need a really good project manager. In this case, Dieter, it was you. We're looking for a dedicated project manager to do this. How did you approach this? Tell us.
Yeah. I love new media, and I really love to bring customer centricity to a marketing department and increasing that. So when smart video first landed on my desk, I was pretty excited about it. The first thing, the main goal of the entire campaign was to explain to the customer that we really care about the relationship Telenet has with the customer. We really want the best for him and to get the most out of the product. It was a main goal. To give our viewers a little more insight, we indeed have those 5 to 3 major storylines, which were rather broad way of communicating. It's not often that you communicate such a broad variety of messages. At the same time, within those storylines, we had a whole bunch of scenes which we could decide to show or not to show to make it relevant for the customer. We use a lot of data for that. We use, for example, how much of his internet he's using, how many devices are connected to his home spot, the number of subscriptions he has on mobile or apps, and even his live stage and all other stuff. So there's a lot of things that come into play.
Yeah, we're going to look at those elements
Definitely.
Later
We're
on.
going to come back to that later. So it might sound a little bit complex at this point, but I can guarantee that smart video is the way to go when you want to translate complex storytelling to come across to your customer in a very relevant and very open-minded way. The customer is very open to approach video as a channel. I think video has been increasing as a channel the past couple of years. You see it on social, you see it on sites like YouTube. So video is the medium of the future, and we haven't seen the last of it yet. And I think smart video is really the next step for a marketing department.
Yeah. When you set up a project like this, I assume that one of the first people also you need after your sponsor is your communication department. How did we approach this?
Definitely.
Yeah?
We need teamwork, and I was so lucky to work with some amazing people within Telenet. Of course, there were around 10 people involved at Telenet, all over the different departments, from technical, marketing, brand and media. There's your creative agency, which helps you to create a nice story and a good look and feel. And then there's your SmartVideo technical partner, which was Sunday Sky in our case. They're also very important that you stay in line with them. So when it comes to project management, it actually isn't much different from any other one-to-one campaign. It's only that the scale of deliverables is much larger. The best way we compare it is like it's a mix of the best world of the above-the-line communication. You recognize stuff like a TV commercial creation, you write script, you record footage, you record the voiceovers, and you make sure that there's a good message in there. But at the same time, you mix that with a below-the-line communication, which is using variables to make relevant targeting and to create a personalized environment on the email, the landing pages, and of course, the video, which was new for us. The most amazing thing I find, or when you first work with SmartVideo, is that you really see this data come to life. At one point, you're inserting data in a database or you're changing one value, you refresh your browser, and there's a whole other visual appealing story that appears to you. And that's really great.
Okay.
I think in our case, we created a very beautiful set of videos, and I think that's mainly thanks to our brand media and communication team. And we have a video of Philippe, our expert on the team, who will explain how they approached it, because for them it was also new.
Okay, let's listen to Philippe.
The role of the creative agency is, of course, to guard overall consistency of what we do in the SmartVideo project versus everything else that we do in campaigning and communication. In our campaigns, we try to focus always on the way people use our products and services in their everyday life. So through slices of life, we show how they can get the most out of our products and really have fun and can enjoy life thanks to our products and services. We want to get across how people can get more out of their lives by using technology products and services. So that was the exact challenge towards the creative agency, to make sure that we don't create the SmartVideo project as an animated slideshow of some sort, but to really have the same feel of our above-the-line campaigning in the SmartVideo project. And that's why we chose for the approach of live video footage. So it was a very deliberate choice, but it created quite a lot of technical complexities. We really wanted it to be more than an animated slideshow. We wanted it to have the same feel as, for example, our ATL commercials. So that was a challenge for the creative agency and also the technical agencies, but I think they really did a good job in creating really good scenes and making it all work from a technical point of view. The reusability of all the components was really key in this project. We really find it very important that we can reuse all the different components in whatever combination or whatever touch point that we think is needed in the future. So that's actually a big challenge also for creating the components, because every component should be like a micro story on its own. You should be able to use it as a standalone narrative, but also in many different combinations. And we actually also made them reusable in the sense that you can reuse them across different countries. So we cleared all the rights for all the content that is used in the components. So every country within the LGI group can actually reuse the many different components in whatever combination or whatever touch point as they like.
Okay, so you see how important it is to get your brand people involved and let them also think about the way you're going to use the brand elements and the communication strategy into the actual experience, the video experience of this. But Dietrich, you know, can you show us a little bit more? Can you explain a little bit more the different elements that were used? Because we taped a lot of different stories and elements. As you see, we approached with a slice of life, real life footage and a mix of motion graphics, and adding data to that really makes it rather exciting. I would like to take the opportunity to take the viewers through the video by stop and go, and I'll explain on every stop what data we used and where the personalization is happening. The video, as you just explained, is in English, so it's not 100% correct since it never went live in English, but it's 99% accurate. Okay. And also important to know and to get into the customer's feed. This story is a WOP value communication, so the goal of the video is to explain to the customer, hey, there's a lot more to Telenet and to your WOP that you're not using yet. WOP is our 3P value proposition, etc. Okay. Yeah, definitely. So I think we just go to the SmartVideo and we'll jump into it. Okay.
Hello, Agnes. We made this video especially for you, so you can get even more out of your WAP.
All right, so that's the opening, the introduction. As you can see, we show the name, which for the customer is already an amazing experience, since it's not common sense, not common practice to use a video with the first name. As you see, the story also starts to build up. We want you to get more out of your WAP plan. It also changed every storyline, but it doesn't just change every storyline. We also change it depending on where the customer comes from. After, for example, he had a call with our inbound call center, we can send this video to him, and then the video would open with, as we just talked over on the phone, we're sending you this video, which makes it extremely relevant for the customer. And that's also a way to personalize the opening scene.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Have you noticed? Everyone wants to be connected all the time and everywhere. Luckily, you're with Telenet, the greatest network. With your WAP plan, you can enjoy it to the fullest now and in the future. With WAP, you enjoy a great TV, surfing, and calling experience. And you're all set for your future internet usage.
All right. The first couple of scenes you saw there, they were pretty uniform. We use them almost in every storyline. It's because we want to stress the impact that Telenet has on your everyday life. It's something you use every day, our products. The last scene, however, where you see the young guy playing with his Oculus Rift.
Oh, that's what it's called? Okay.
Yeah, that's
right.
what. Yeah.
That's why we have a Millennium on board.
I know we have one in the office, so we'll go play out with it. But this scene is really for customers that have a high internet usage and a multi-device usage very high. So for them, this is a recognizable scene because it's the internet of future in a way. For example, if this video would have been for families with kids, you would see a kid downloading pictures from on a computer from the internet, which makes it more relevant for them. So yeah, in that way we use personalization here. So let's go to the next.
Enjoy a full-blown experience with all of our included services like the Yalo Play app, Wi-Free, and Tring, so you can surf, call, and watch TV wherever you are. Thanks to the free Tring app on your smartphone, you can make phone calls over Wi-Fi at the rates of your fixed line. That means it's free after 4 p.m. and on weekends.
Yep. In this scene, this block actually contains 3 possible value-adding services that Telenet offers, and we highlight one of them because that's the most relevant one for the customer. We know so because it's like a cascading selection. The first priority was the Yellow TV watching app, which this customer is already using. The second scene would be the Wi-Fi, our public network home spots. He's also using those, and then he ends up in the last selection, which is the Tring app, which tells us that he hasn't really been using it lately. Even more in this scene, I can say that the customer probably didn't go abroad in the past 6 months because we haven't saw any roaming on his mobile line, which tells us he hasn't been traveling. If he would have been a traveler, we would have shown a scene on the airport where for him it's much more relevant because Tring really adds value when you're abroad and you can make your phone calls over Wi-Fi. So in that way, we make it really relevant for the customer with data selection.
Yeah, great. Okay.
Using a Telenet login enables you to log into the Yalo Play app, Tring app, or Wi-Free, and also allows you to manage your services on My Telenet. You can always create a Telenet login on My Telenet using your customer number.
Yeah. This is a self-service scene, and it tells me that this customer, he had a login to the self-service environment, but he hasn't been using it in, I think, 3 or 6 months. I don't know the exact selection. But you also see that it really has a user because we personalized the Telenet login name that you see, Agnes 2015. That is really his login that he once created, so it's recognizable for him, and we just want to remind him, hey, go to our self-service environment. There's a lot of things you can do there. So that way we also we use data to make it relevant.
Okay. Wow, fantastic. Okay.
And as you can see, WAP also comes with a lot of extra advantages, like the Play promo, the mobile WAP deal, and the iPad promo.
Yeah, here we sum up all the advantages, and it's actually part of a larger campaign that we launched. Since he saw 3 elements, it means that he hasn't been using our adding our extra advantages too much. He saw that we offered him to go for the free Play. You can use Play for free for 1 month.
As an advantage of the product.
As an advantage of the product. He hasn't been using it, we know, so we explain it to him so he can take the advantage. We talk about the mobile deal. We know he has a mobile line. He probably is in a family situation where he can get advantage if he subscribes more lines at Telenet at a reduced price. And then the last one is you can buy an iPad through your Telenet package on a reduced price. He hasn't done that neither, so that's why he sees those 3 scenes. If he would have done 1 out of 3, we would have skipped those.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Keep up the fun with it. Click here to discover more and download the Tring mobile app.
Yeah, so this is the final scene, and this is where really the interactivity happens for the customer, because he can click in the video. We can guide what action we want the customer to undertake. In this story, it was mainly important to have him use the Tring app or discover his advantages. Other options would have been when we want him to migrate to immediately make a phone call to our migration call center. There will be a button on the screen, and if he watches it on the mobile, he could even just tap the screen and immediately make the phone call. We could also direct him to a Telenet shop near him where we show a map and the total integration. So this is really guiding him in another way, and it's also a very measurable way of closing a good story. Yeah. So you see, there's a lot of data in this video, and we haven't even, this is only a highlight, we haven't even shown.
Yeah. We talk about data now. I mean, yeah. Maybe Koen, you are the CRM manager of Telenet. You run a lot of campaigns on a yearly basis. You use a lot of data to decide which customer needs to receive what type of campaign, etc. There's quite a lot of data elements in this production. Can you explain a little bit, like, how complicated is it to use your CRM environment to steer these videos?
Yeah, indeed, data is crucial in setting up such a personalized video. In fact, we are using data in 2 different ways. First, of course, for the personalization, the name of the customer, the login of the customer. What we also use is the product that he has at this moment that is very recognizable for the customer. You could also use the amount on his latest bill, or the amount that he used in the most recent month. Things like that is also possible, which we didn't do right now. But these are elements that are very relevant and make the video stand out compared to other videos, because the customer understands that it's specifically for him. So that is a very important element here. The number of data elements that are like that is rather limited, but the quality, of course, is crucial there, because if you make any mistake there, then it really gives a bad experience. Yeah. The second way we use data is to really pick the right storyline for each specific customer. As Dieter explained already, we have a lot of different variations, different storylines, and within each storyline different variations. So you need a lot of different data. In total we had about 100 data points, I believe, and to really pick up the right storyline for each customer. Also because we only have a limited time span, the video cannot be too long, because otherwise we will lose interest of the customer. So it needs to be not too long. So we really need to pick up the right scenes and get the message through. So that's very important there.
All right. Is it a complex thing to do? You need a really advanced CRM environment to do this, or is it pretty accessible?
All in all, I think from data point of view, it's not very different from doing segmented email, for example, email campaigns. I think probably most other organizations also do that already. And also there you have some personalization. Often you also use the name to say hello to your customer, or maybe one or the other detailed personalized element. So all in all, it's not that different, and you decide yourself how far you go in it. Now we went pretty far, having all these different storylines in one video, but you can do it also with a more limited number of data.
Mark, thank you also for being here. You're in charge of guiding all of the campaigns through the different channels, etc., and making sure that everything is coordinated. How difficult was it for you to put this campaign into your cycle, and how did you approach this to decide you're going to do push or pull, or etc.?
Planning the campaign, as Koen said, was like some other bigger campaigns, because here we talk about 750,000 1,000 smart videos that we send out. So the volume was perhaps a difficulty or something to focus on, but basically we did push. So we send out all these smart videos, and the plan was to start with a test and to roll it out on 3 drops with 200K per drop, for example, and to do reminders afterwards. So in 3 steps, that's something that we focused on.
So we're going to have some conversations with the people who were involved in the measurements. And there's 3 type of measurements that we want to do. First of all, how effective is this channel versus other digital channels you use in an outbound environment? Look at email. Secondly, what is the return of investment? You know, did it actually make money? Are we making money as a group of this? In Telenet, we're quite obsessed with it has to create value for us and for the customer. And thirdly, it's like, you know, do people actually like it? Is it a nice experience? Is this something they think is relevant for them? And is it a fun experience? So Koen, maybe let's start with you. You looked at the statistics around the use of this campaign versus other channels. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, we put together some data on the reach of the campaign. As Mark already explained, there was about 750,000 mails that went out, and we received 158,000 video views in total, which means that about 20% of the customers that we sent the mail to actually saw the mail, so took the time to watch really the video.
The video itself.
Yeah, the video itself, and so that's we were pretty happy with that result, because it takes some time. The video is more than 1 minute on average, so it takes really some time. So I think it's a quite good result. If you look, another important measure is the percentage of customers that really watch the video until the end, because what we saw in a previous video we did last year is that the impact of your campaign on uptake or on migration or this kind of things is really the highest for customers that watch the video until the end. There is a big difference in watching the video until the end compared to only watching the first 30 seconds or something like that. It was really a big difference. So for us it was also a very important metric to see how many customers could really watch it until the end. Last year we had like 50% only of the customers that watched it until the end, so we tried to make it shorter this time, and we reached now 73%, which is, I think, a very good result. We were really happy with that result. Now, if you compare these results to, let's say, the average email campaign, I think you can say that Smart Video is indeed a very effective communication channel. Not so much in the sense that the opening rate of the emails that we used is much higher than for other comparable campaigns. That is not really the case. But what we see is that 1 out of 2 of the customers that opened the mail really engage in the experience, really click the video and start watching it.
Caroline, let's move over to you. You are the head of research in Telenet. You were also interested in understanding how does this impact the customer. Do customers like it? Is the story relevant, etc.? So you brought some survey results on that as well. Do you want to share this with us?
Yeah, sure. So customers did really like it, and I'll briefly tell you how we tested it. So at the end of the video, 10% of the customers, of the viewers, received a small survey, just 3 questions to get a quick feeling about what they thought of it, how they experience it. It just appeared alongside of the video. So it was 3 questions. To what extent was this video interesting for you? To what extent would you say this video is a fun way to get a message? And whether it convinced them about to the strength of WOP and WOPA.
Yeah. So if it was relevant, message for them. Yep.
Yeah, and did they learn something out of it?
Yep.
So we had those 3 questions, and we asked them to rate it on a 10-point scale. And here we see the top 4 results, meaning that people gave a score of 7 or more. We're still testing the impact of the video on the general NPS scores, but it's still in data collection phase, so I'm curious about it, and we'll share the results once we've got them.
Okay, great, next step. Jonathan, welcome also. You're leading the team that is actually digging into the data and actually trying to find out what is the ROI, what is the payback, does this campaign really work from a financial perspective. Can you share us a little bit of your findings?
Sure, my pleasure. This campaign has been analyzed as any other campaign that we execute in Telenet with our campaign analysis tool, that we automatically get the payback and the finances of it. So this allows us to compare the results of this campaign with the other campaigns and put this into perspective. For instance, this campaign, we are having a payback in the month 7th. There is a full report that will be available for sure for all colleagues, but I would like to highlight 4 different things. First of all, the best performing groups were legacy migrations and web upsell migrations, because those customers were addressed to try to show them the path that they have to develop to go to a higher tier or to a better fit product for them. Through the SmartVideo, it was very easy to show them what are the difference. So the uplift that we are getting in those groups are incredibly high, so we were very successful here. On the other hand, we had the biggest 2 groups that there were web value and web app value communications, that those are our 3P, 4P bundles. That here we wanted to show the customers what was the value of their product, and in the case that they were not using enough their apps, their features, to show them how to use it. So in order that we get customers using and engaging with Telenet, we will get in lower churn rates or partial churn rates and also downgrades, that we also succeeded here. At the end, we had also segmented with some propensity models, WOPA high-risk customers, that we address them to try to not churn or to downgrade to lower tiers. In this case, it was not that spectacular, because as we know from other campaigns, these customers need more human touch contact, and the SmartVideo didn't succeed as much as in the other channels.
Yeah, this confirms a little bit what our experience with other campaigns, digital channel, outbound channel to high churn risk customers, more the human aspect rather than only a digital campaign, maybe in support of an overall campaign, but not as a standalone campaign or channel for churn reduction. Great, thank you for the learnings. We discussed these results internally, and we're discussing now the next step. So let's move over to the next steps. But before we do that, we have in Telenet, we have a department within marketing called Memorable Experience. It's all about our change from marketing to mattering. It's all about customer experience being a strategic pillar of our strategy, of our market approach. So let's first hear from Isabel, who's working in the Memorable Experience team.
As a Memorable Experience team, we focus on 3 main goals. First one being to delight our customers by offering considerable services to them. Second goal is to make sure that we inspire customers to use their product in the most optimal way. And a third goal is to make sure that we delight our customers' loyalty, to reward them by surprising them once in a while. And actually the SmartVideo project fits into this concept, especially focusing on the second pillar, namely making sure customers get the most out of their product. And we do this by making a video, but not only making a general video, but making a smart video, making sure that it's personalized, tailored to the customer needs, the customer profile, the usage of the customer products, etc. And we do that not only by making a general video, but making a smart, personalized video depending on the profile of the customer. And that's also a big plus for the customers themselves, because then it's not one general marketing message that they receive from us, but it's as if they receive a personal video that's especially tailored to their needs, and therefore we can enhance the relationship that we have with our customers on an individual level.
Great. So Dieter, what's next for Telenet?
Yeah. The thing we're going to do next is to develop a long-term strategic implementation. We see Smart Video as a new channel, a new way to talk to our customers. We have a lot of new internal clients waiting and very eager to start working with this technology. So we're definitely going to interact with them. Also, we're going to start linking this to our big data project, making this a lot more triggered, a lot more customer lifetime related, which is going to be very terrific for the experience. Yeah. The main learning I would want to share in this moment is to take one storyline at a time. We took 5, and it took us a hell lot of a challenge. You put quite some stress on me.
But if somebody can do it, it's you. Huh?
Yeah. If you take just 5 individual storylines and give yourself and your video library time to grow, and you keep your focus on what the customer needs, I think you're going to be very successful with
it's always funny when people, you know, they start complaining once you make them work for their salaries. But anyway, we really want to encourage you to use this technology in the group. We think it's a great form, a great way of endorsing your strategy and creating value for consumers, and perfectly in line with our move from marketing to mattering. Anyway, think about it. Guys, it was great entertaining you. I hope we inspired you. Thank you very much for your attention, and see you maybe next time. Bye-bye. Guys, thank you very much for showing up. Thank you very much for putting your career on the line here, because we are broadcasting live. So if anything goes wrong, it's streamed directly across 2 continents, but thank you. So let's first hear from Celine, who's working in the Memorable Experience team, and it's Isabel. Isabel, I'm so sorry. We also saw some elements about how data is translated into an audio experience. I think we have some footage of that, so let's take a look at that.
Hello, Adam. Thank you, Adam. Hello, Aaron. Thank you, Aaron. Hello, Stephen. Thank you, Stephen. Hello, Stevie. Thank you, Stevie. Hello, Zorro. Thank you, Zorro.
Okay, we got quite some creative people in our team. We're doing this for you guys, so let's move over to Steven. Steven, do you have any questions coming in?
Yes, Bert, there are a lot of questions coming in. We also have a lot of fan mail, even about your shoes, Bert. But this one is coming from Netherlands again.
I'm just happy we're not working for a global cheese company, because we would be showing you 45 minutes of streaming on how to milk a cow. Anyway, think about it.